Hey, how are you? This is Rabbi Bregman of the Jewish Executive Learning Network and BregmanSuccess.com. I want to do a short video right now to reply to an interesting question that I was sent last night over Facebook in response to an Instagram post of mine. A lot of the videos and posts I make trigger comments and feedback. This one is something that actually kind of comes up a lot. There's a truck going by. 1 second. This one comes up a lot. Sometimes I'll have a video or a post in which I'll speak about the concept of average. I have a video that some people, not when I say some, meaning a sliver, responded to, not in a positive way, and they said, it doesn't sound nice. How can you suggest that some people are not getting the results they want in life because they're average? How can you say that? The post on Instagram that someone didn't like, it had a picture of something about excuses, that it's not, not for winners in life to be an excuse maker. And I wrote over there that when people make excuses to me, I remain polite about it, but I'm thinking at the time, that's a pretty average thing to do. So a person was asking me, they said, how can you talk about people being average? You seem like such a nice person. It doesn't seem to be part of your message. What are you getting at? So I'll just share with you like this, okay? First of all, here's what you got to know. There's nothing wrong with the concept of average. Average means normal. Average means regular. Average means that relative to a broader group of people, you or that person or that entity doesn't stand out. If you buy a dozen eggs, the average egg kind of looks like all the other eggs. I mean, that's what it is, right? I am 5'11". A 5'11" Jewish guy is about 3.5 inches above average if you look at the charts and the statistics. I mean, it's a fact, okay? If you put me next to NBA players, I'm below average. You put me next to other nationalities, maybe not Jewish, I'm above average or below average in height. Average doesn't mean you're no good, you don't have value, God doesn't love you, you're not a worthy human being. Just means, relative to something, that's what you are. There's such a thing as an average GPA. There's such a thing as an average income, an average look, an average car, average skill, average talent. There are areas in life where I'm extremely average. You should see how I draw pictures. My artwork kind of still looks like the ones I did when I was a kid. If you would go to my parents' house and if they would still have pictures that I drew when I was 10 years old or 5 years old of a person, kind of looks the same way I would draw it today. I'm average or below average in that. Other areas of life, I'm pretty good or exceptional and anything in between. You should see how I cook. The definition of average or maybe below average. But my ability to care about people and other things that I'm able to bring to the table are above average or well above, okay? So, number one, average is not a problem. There's nothing wrong with talking about the idea. I think in society, we've gotten very soft and we're very sensitive. And when we hear that word, it sounds like we're judging people. And, in our society, one of the worst things you could do is judge. Don't judge. Are you judging? I mean, yeah, we kind of are. Nobody's interested in building a life around people and things that are typical and do not stand out. If a new restaurant opens in town, they're not going to advertise, hey, we got average food, okay? Many of you know that I'm a coach when it comes to dating, amongst other areas and spheres. I'm a dating coach, a mentor, a shadchan, a matchmaker. If I call you up, I say, hey, Brian, I know somebody unbelievable for you. Really? No, I'm just kidding. She's not unbelievable. She's average. She looks average, talks average. You marry her, man, you're going to have an average life, okay? You want to really go out with average? You want me to hire you for BregmanSuccess.com, one of my business. You want me to hire you? So why don't you reach out to me and tell me I'm going to produce average results, get you average attention, average revenue. I'm just going to be typical. I'm not interested, okay? Nobody's interested in average. Now, people get sensitive, and let me wear my Rabbi hat, yarmulke piece of this pie for a moment, okay? People get sensitive when you talk about the concept of average. Why? Because they're like, well, well, what about God? And doesn't God appreciate what I do and stuff like that? Yeah, of course. Hashem, God, Hashem, our creator, he cares. See, to God, you might have had to work really, really hard to reach the point or level you're at in anything in life. And he can enormously appreciate and value what you are and what you bring to the table. But the world is not going to necessarily. So you might have worked on a talent or a skill or an ability or an area, a character trait you find so hard for you, and you work very hard to get to a certain point. At that point, the world might still look at you and say, you're typical or average in that area, but that doesn't mean that God doesn't love you and God doesn't appreciate it, and that doesn't mean you're not worthy of being loved and valued and treasured. It just means that the world is still looking at you from a certain objective place. You follow what I'm trying to say? I often say this as a Torah insight, and I'm serious. There's a prayer we say at certain times of the year, around the high holidays, different times, called Yizkor. In English, you would spell it Y-I-Z-K-O-R. Yizkor means to remember or will remember. Yizkor Elokim, that God will remember. It's a prayer said around certain high important Jewish holidays in memory of loved ones who've passed away. And the prayer begins with the words Yizkor Elokim, which means God will remember. Yizkor Elokim, God will remember. So I sometimes say, and I mean this seriously, it sounds like a joke, why do we say Yizkor Elokim, God will remember? Because nobody else is going to remember. The world doesn't care how much effort you put in, how hard you work to get to something. The world cares about results, okay? The world cares about results. Today's Friday. The Bregman family had to go buy Shabbat groceries like everybody else, okay? We go to buy groceries. The world doesn't care when I come to the cashier how hard I worked this week. They just want to know, bottom line, did you produce cash, credit? Let's do it, right? The world is not interested in my efforts. God, Hashem, is interested in my efforts, but the world as a whole isn't. But I just want to say we don't need to get bent out of shape too much when we hear about this concept of average, because there are areas in life that we are average, and we have to understand that if we're not getting the traction in life that we want, we have to try. God may appreciate everything, but that doesn't mean all these trucks. That's what happens when you film by right in the parking lot, right? That's what happens. Public property. But when you, well, this part's private, but I don't mean to be lawyer Bregman now, but it's a different part. The point is that the world may not care how much you try, but God cares how much you try. But realizing that vis-a-vis the rest of the world, you may be perceived as average in your resume, your look, your skill, your talent, what you bring to the marketplace, whatever, that's okay. Because at least if you admit it, then you're able to move forward. I'm not one of those people who advocates that every kid in life should get a trophy for bowling, or every kid gets a trophy for playing. Life doesn't work that way. I don't know if you believe that. That's not my belief. Anyway, this is Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Bregman from the Jewish Executive Learning Network and BregmanSuccess.com. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel so we can continue to grow together and lift ourselves up to the people we want to be, so the world can hopefully give us the rewards and riches that we're looking for, and not just in a material sense, but also so that we can become the best human beings possible. Okay, that's it. Have a good Shabbos. Bye.